Hi, everybody. It's that time of the month when we are going to be doing the my newsletter and a tip of the month. I'm going to be discussing this month the operable parts, which is in section 309, and reach ranges in section 308. But one of the first things that I want to talk about before we start the, to talk about the technical standards, like how to design for accessibility, I want to remind you that there are two other sections that we should go to first. The first section is in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 2 specifically tells you what is required to comply and how many of that element has to comply. So in our section, 309 is the first thing we go to usually when we start designing or specifying something to do with operable parts. Let's say I want to know what my specifications need to say about this, a locker combination or a door hardware or something along those lines. Then I'll go to section 309 and it explains to me what all the things, how to design for that. But we forget to go to the scoping section, which is in section 205. 205 talks about which operable parts are required to comply and how many of them have to comply. If we miss that part or if we skip that part, then you're not going to understand how many of the element has to comply. So you might do too many of them, or you might do too few, or you may do some that are not even required to comply. So remember, before you start any design at all, make sure you understand the scoping section that relates to that element, which is in chapter 2, and that will tell you how many and what is required to comply before you start the how to comply. So chapters 3 through 10 are the technical standards that tell you how to make things accessible. And chapter 2, the 200s, are going to tell you how many and what. So I hope you enjoy this newsletter. And if you have any questions, my email is inside. Thanks.